This is Mike with cstactical.com. We get a lot of requests on how to set up an EREK knob. Here we have a USO 3.2 to 17 with the EREK knob, so I'm going to go through the steps on how to set up the EREK knob. In the USO, you're going to find a plastic bag that will consist of some O-rings, the end top after you've done re-zeroing it, and the Allen wrenches that are required to be used for zeroing the wind and also the EREK knob. Along with being able to zero this EREK knob, you're going to need a level and a bore sight. You can do this out in the field, but we're going to do it inside here, and it's a lot easier and simpler to do it with a bore sight, so we're going to use a bore sight system. We leveled the scope, but as you can see, it is technically on a cant. You can see the bubble is touching one of the hard lines. The reason I use a hard line is because that tells me precisely where the bubble is at. If we used it in the center, it would be kind of a guess. The reason I'm going to use a hard line is because I'm going to be using the front bore sight, and I'm going to put that in line on the line too. So the whole rifle will be on a cant. So technically, when you rotate the rifle back into upright position, it'll be level. Now we're going to go to the front where we have the bore sight. We're going to take the bubble level and place it on the bore sight and put the bubble right on the hard line that we used for the scope. Now we know that the line inside the reticle and the line inside the bore sight are going to be on the same plane, and this will be able to help us determine if we have a canted reticle or not. There will be a little bit of errors either way you could go, but this is going to give us a nice plumb line to get us started. Now, after we got everything leveled, I'm going to look through the scope towards the bore sight, and the bore sight has lines on there to tell me where I need to put the reticle. So what I'm going to do is use the EREK knob to get approximately where I feel like the 100-yard zero is what I want. And right there is approximately where I want the 100-yard zero. Now I'm going to take the wrench that's provided by USO, put it in the top half of the EREK knob in the hole that's on top of the EREK knob. And what I'm going to do is now basically create a zero stop. As you can see, I can rotate this thing for quite a ways and there is no zero stop. So now I'm going to reline it back up. Going to hold on to the Allen wrench, looking through the EREK, or looking through the scope, watching the bore sight. Going to hold this Allen wrench stiff and move the EREK knob down until it completely stops. Now that I got the EREK knob completely down, bottomed out, I'm going to give it, because of the fact I don't like to have a solid 100% stop zero, I'm going to give it some room to play with, especially since we're going to be doing a bore sight here. So I'm going to rotate, holding the Allen in place still, and I'm going to just give it about 2 mils of revolution. And now it did move off the zero a little bit, so I'm going to use the hex screw to do the fine tuning back down. Now I'm back on my 100-yard zero, and now I got approximately a 2 mil leeway. So now the zero stop has been created. We bore sighted our reticle, and we should be good to go. We're good to go on the range. So this way you can save a lot of ammo without having to play the guessing game with the EREK knob. This is a simple, fast, and effective way that I found to use the EREK knob in zeroing it. So then the next step would be go to the range, do your 3-shot group. If you needed to adjust it a little bit here and there, you could do it with just the turret itself, or you could even use the Allen screw hole here. One of the things about having such a wide knob is that you can typically find slight variances as it goes up in elevation, that it could be slightly off. So for example, we're going to rotate it over to 4.5 MOA. That's approximately halfway through the EREK knob, and now you can see that the line on the 4.5 is a little bit on the one of the sides of the center line of the actual scope. So what we're going to do is loosen this up, and at this point you'd really more care about this after you've gotten a good filled zero, and you'd replace this portion of the zeroing cap with the filled cap. And what the difference is that this has a hole in it, this one doesn't. This will help protect the scope from the internals getting dirt inside there that you don't need, and water. So you're just going to do that, replace that, but we're not going to do that here. So now what I'm going to do is just line this up. Tighten up the screws after we lined it up. Confirm. And now we're going to rotate it back down to 0. And as you can see, your 0 is nice and in line. But now as you go through the whole scope, you'll have it all in line all the way through too. So that way it took out the small little amount of error that you're going to encounter. For more information, you can go to our online magazine or our forum at cstactical.com.